be safe.
They
Hello and welcome everyone to the inaugural season of the Crossfade tournament here, a charity tournament to help those to help many charities around the country. I am your play-by-play caster for today, Kamare, and here I am with FU for free, my caster, my color caster for today. How are you doing for today right now?
I am doing good, my man. It is a beautiful. I don't even know what day of the week it is. Sunday, yes, Sunday night on Crossfade Games, and look, you guys will be able to expect this in the coming weeks. Every Sunday, every Sunday night, there's going to be some tournaments happening for Crossfade Games. But tonight, we got some exciting games coming up between the Yellow Yetis out here representing. 1 second, sorry about that. I thought I was prepared. That the Yellow Yetis representing the Acalasia Action. I mean, Acalasia Action charity. It's a fantastic charity that will like hopefully be changing a lot of great things in the world.
Yeah, they're a
And
charity supporting those with a certain esophagus disease. Don't ask me to go
achalasia,
more into it. I'm not a doctor.
achalasia,
Achalasia.
yeah, it's a disease of the esophagus. So we have Yellow Yetis playing on behalf of them, and they're going to be putting in some work tonight. We also have Imperial Phoenix. I'm sorry, you just told me how to pronounce it too, and I forgot.
Yes, of course. So let me do the introduction for this. We have the Imperial Phoenix Quetzalcoatls, and they are going to be playing on behalf of Cruiser Sports, which is a charity in support of making sure that children with physical disabilities are able to play in various sports, including track and field. So really honorable work there as well. So from what I got on our debrief before this tournament, these are both teams that have a little bit of a rocky start, going 0-2 and 1-1 respectively. And even so, the game that the Quetzalcoatls won was actually a forfeit. So these are teams that really want to get off on the right foot at the beginning of this tournament. And as we break down both these teams, why don't we see both of their rosters right now? So with the Yellow Yetis, why don't you break it down, FU for free?
Yeah, with the Yellow Yetis, we have quite the spicy lineup here. You have Fairy, it appears, or like I'm just gonna go ahead and not spell the whole name out. So yeah, it appears to be Fairy on Sojourn. And yeah, I mean, Sojourn, you're definitely gonna be seeing a lot of Sojourn throughout this tournament if you haven't already. And we all know why. So Sojourn is pretty broken. Lift Key on Tracer. Very classic staple DPS that you'll see across all tournament lineups for the most part, especially at this level of play. I believe this is going to be GM and up the ranking, so that's going to be real spicy. Timo Tio, or Timo Tio, or hope I'm pronouncing it right.
I'm gonna go with Timoteo because
Timoteo, there we go.
rolls off the tongue a little easier.
There you go. Timoteo on Sigma. Like it's going to be very interesting to see if they really do try to force this. Like I guess not, I shouldn't say force, but like really stick with this Sigma on tank because like we typically don't really see a lot of Sigma when it comes to well, I guess tournament compositions. Lucio, though, we do see a lot of awesome opossum. Gonna be playing Lucio. We're gonna be seeing a lot of Lucio. I already know, Mr. 100% pick rate right there, and Hammershank on support as well with Baptiste, likely synergizing with the Sigma. Do you want to go ahead and give us the rundown of the team that I cannot pronounce?
I could do it actually. So on the other side, we do have the Imperial Phoenix Quetzalcoatls. Try saying that 3 times fast. And yeah, we got Gabe and Shantai on the DPS. Not sure if we're going to actually see the Echo and Genji. Not really, not really characters that we really see in the current meta. More like we're going to see that Sojourn, like we said before. Then we also have James Baxter. Love the Rhine. Probably not going to see it today. And then, of course, we also have Pleb and Phoenix as our Quetzalcoatl supports. Really expecting we might see a little bit of that Mercy and Ana if they want to be creative, but most likely I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that Kiriko. Would you agree?
Yes, definitely. Kiriko and Lucio, most likely.
Right, the Lucio as well. We might see a little bit of a substitution later on with Sauce Boss, but we'll just have to see as we go into our first map. So I guess I'm just going to keep going until we get into this lobby here. Our first map here is going to be going into Midtown. So what kinds of comps do you think we can expect to see here on Midtown? Do you think it's going to be the usual meta, seeing a lot of Hog Orisa, along with Kiriko Lucio and then a lot of Sojourn as well? Or do you think there's a little bit of space for some... I'm a bit of a fan, Reinhardt comps.
There's definitely potential for Reinhardt comps, right? Because there are some pretty decent early chokes on Midtown. But I'm definitely personally expecting there to be the typical Orisa Roadhog. It's really hard to avoid that in the current metagame, and it's just a very strong composition to actually roll with a lot of the time. So it appears we're going to be getting things going here, and actually we're going to be seeing the compositions. What are you expecting to see?
I'm also expecting to see a lot of the Orisa Roadhog. I would be very much a fan if I were to see a little bit of Ramatra. Sorry to focus a little bit on the tanks, but hey, this is Overwatch 2. It's very tank focused. Then again, it's also Overwatch in general. It's always been tank focused. Gonna be hoping to see a lot of Sojourn, maybe a little bit of the flanking play from Tracers, and maybe a little bit of Genji, but I think we'll have to see about that. It does seem like that, aside from... actually, I'm not sure if we saw... Yeah, aside from Timoteo, who is now on the Orisa, we are seeing, what was advertised. We are seeing the Reinhardt play coming up from James Baxter, but at the same time, they are
You're so dramatic, you.
Offense here first. But on the side of the Yellow Yetis, is this something that we can expect a strong defense
close.
from?
I can't hear you.
Definitely so. I mean, this appears to be at least for the Quetzalcoatl. There we go. At least for Quetzalcoatl, it appears to be like as advertised, or it's up until the last second. James Baxter opted for the Orisa, but for the Yellow Yetis, yeah, like the changes made for this map in particular, they definitely really made themselves.
Alright, first, we're going to be seeing a little bit of a fight down at this bottom choke. Never go on the train, guys. That's basically a death sentence. Timoteo, unfortunately, going down first to Pleb, who managed to kill him with that boop. Very much allowing the Yellow Yetis to kind of... Oh, a second there. Allowing the Yellow Yetis to kind of just lose a little bit of their space on this defense here. Imperial Phoenix, really good spot. In fact, James Baxter really pushing into the opposing Orisa, who's just coming back from spawn. And now Imperial Phoenix, very little opposition here as they capture this first point.
That was a very quick cap by Imperial Phoenix. Quetzalcoatl. What a statement made right there, and like really with so much time that they had left on the clock, I am not actually still in the parsec call, it appears. So I'm gonna go ahead and hand it off to Kamure.
No, sorry, I got kicked out as well. Sorry, let's do...
It'll just be a quick moment here, everybody on Twitch chat, while we get things like worked out over here, but yeah, like we'll be right back into the action just one quick moment. Do not go anywhere.
Like a gentle rain. Let me Kitsune guide you.
We lost the lead. Okay, so yes, I am so sorry about that Twitch chat. We are getting this feed back up here in just a moment, and we'll be right back into the action. Okay, so got the feedback, and yeah, so like as it appears, the momentum from Imperial Phoenix Quetzalcoatl, it just once again just been so incredible. Like they've already almost gotten their second point cap here. And it's really going to be a whole lot, like, for them to actually stop if you are the Yellow Yetis. James Baxter finding an early pick there on Fairy.
Alright, yeah, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, Gabe, absolutely just destroying things on the Sojourn here, able to take advantage of all of the space that James Baxter has provided him. And now they just as easily as they took first, they take second right here and now. And Yellow Yeti's really struggling on this initial defense. Oh, they go on to switch to the Winston.
Oh yeah, very interesting choice, especially on defense, switching to Winston, but you definitely have to pull out whatever you can at this point. It may be to put in a little bit of extra work versus Shantae, who's been putting in a lot of work on Tracer. It is very interesting though to see the Winston squad.
Oh, what a great shot from Fairy onto Gabe. Absolutely what they needed to get this defense and not being overshadowed in any way. Fairy getting once again another pick on James Baxter, and that's going to be it for that defense. Finally, a first fight win for the Yellow Yetis here. Oh, but Timoteo actually overextends just that little bit, and Imperial Phoenix Quetzalcoatl is gonna take advantage of it.
This is such a actual, like, this is a very difficult point to, I guess, get momentum rolling from. Like, if you are, I was gonna say, if you are an Imperial Phoenix Quetzalcoatl, although they're getting regrouped here, it does appear that Yellow Yetis have more ultimates at their disposal, so if they can utilize those properly, they may be able to actually defend.
Yeah, and what a great defense turning out to be right now. Timoteo getting 2 of those big hits. By the way, back onto the Arista, and look at that ult charge, almost to that to her ultimate right there. James Baxter also dying on this robot, is quite important for him. But looks like this fight has just ended as. I mean, unfortunately, the Phoenix did have to bring to use their Kiriko ult there, so they just wasted such a valuable ultimate at the same time. At the same time, though, Hammershank did use their Kiriko ult, so I think it's going to be a little bit of a play. I mean, the Yellow Yetis are looking good with their ult economies so far, and I think you can expect to see that come to play into this next fight. Lipke doesn't look like they got much with that whole spot in the background, and they're just trying to just get a little bit of a pick to build up that charge and just get that headshot onto either of the issues. It's a little bit of a slow fight here, but Hammershank goes down. Lipke to follow. DPS really popping up on the side of the Quetzalcoatl, and it's just going to keep on going. This is looking really bad for the Yetis.
Yeah, the Yetis are getting pushed all the way back into spawn, it appears, and the distance continues to build on the payload at this point. I'm not really sure what changes the Yellow Yetis are going to be able to make this late to the game. It appears like the immense pressure from Imperial Phoenix Quetzalcoatl it's just brought them all the way to the cap at this point with 2 minutes left on the clock, but let's definitely not count out Yellow Yetis yet.
For sure. I mean, they made the switch over onto the Sigma, and unfortunately it's not really going to pay off as both of the zombies were used earlier in that fight. Gabe popping off. What the hell is that? Such a huge railgun usage over there. And Quetzalcoatl's take that 3rd point very confidently with a very strong time bank too. So 3 really strong from the Quetzalcoatl's so far.
Right, like, I mean, like, what an incredible statement made by the Quetzalcoatl right there. If you are the Yellow Yetis, we did see the Sigma come out right there last minute to potentially try and do put some sort of stop to the pressure by the Imperial Phoenix, but honestly, like, will it be enough to I guess in this round? Probably no. They're deciding for switching to Orisa. Like, it's going to be interesting to see what changes the Yellow Yetis have to make to ultimately stop something like that. When you have a first round like that, like, what do you really need to do to beat something like? I guess something like the Imperial Phoenix right there.
For sure. And now that the Quetzalcoatls are like on this defense, they have to commit to this Far Mercy coming out right now. And I mean, I think it's really good for this first point, to be sure. Being able to shoot over the train while Shantae is going to be on the flank here, and James Baxter going to try to, I assume, hold up on mid again. And
wow.
Or you could just get a first pick right there. Actually, you are shooting from above the train if you're at that angle. Or by the train. What a start! What a start! What do I have to say aside from that?
Literally, I blinked and Fortracer was dead right there. Like, but truly amazing pick by Gabe. Gabe really putting in a lot of work on for DPS for the Imperial Quetzalcoatl.
All right. Well, if Barry wants to be the hero here for the Yellow Yetis, then they really gotta find a good pick to get that charge up again. And oh no, Hammershank goes down first by Shantae. Obviously being or certainly being a mosquito on the side of the Yetis right now. Timoteo can follow as well. And yeah, if you're the Yetis, just pull back, reevaluate, and let's see what they're gonna have to do next. What do you think they have to do actually?
I honestly, I'm not quite too sure. I'm liking the Diva pick to potentially go into the Orisa a little bit better, but Sigma, like not the worst pick against Orisa. I mean, like they kind of can. I mean, a good Sigma can be a counter to Orisa in his own ways. Hopefully, it's just I'm not really too sure what the Yellow Yetis are needing to do here besides just ultimately make the better plays, and that's obviously easier said than done, you know.
For sure, and if you're going to be, losing both your DPS so early in the fight, I mean, I guess you can make it back if your support and your your tank's gonna make it back. Ooh, what a nice rock! Yep, rock as he said. But James Baxter just going to get that back up. It's really bad here for the Yetis so far. Maybe a little bit of defense, but also still kind of bad. But hey, actually, it looks like he's able to kind of lead back James Baxter. But at the same time, look at this ultimate advantage coming from the competition right now. Perhaps they don't even need it right now, as Phoenix kind of using everyone, and just closes out the fight. So as I was kind of musing there, what was allowing the Quetzalcoatls to just take advantage there? Not even use a single ult aside from Valk.
Just like it seems to be better play, unfortunately, for the case of the Yellow Yetis. But when Imperial Phoenix, like you had mentioned, they have so many ults left on deck, and they haven't really had to expend like many of them. Like as the clock continues to click down for the Yellow Yetis here, it's just very it's just not really what you want to see at all at this point. And I mean, like, even if you are able to get the cap, the pace by the Imperial Phoenix Quetzalcoatl was just much quicker.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the Quetzalcoatls are taking a little bit of advantage of the chaos. Notwithstanding the game just getting advantage Timoteo trying to make a hero play by using his ult, and Awesome using his own like before. It's not Ajax there. It's just it really does seem like the Quetzalcoatls are just taking advantage, going or outplaying the Yellow Yeti at every single turn. Wherever a Yeti tries to go off to the side to the flank, someone is there to stop him, whether it is James Baxter or Gabe on the side. Barry trying to make something of its own now, as they all manage to get to the point with sheer speed and of course the now we have the Quetzalcoatl going off to the side here, trying to respond to the turn. Now it's going to be chaos on the point. James Baxter getting that opposing mercy, which really doesn't bode well, especially if your other support's going to die too. And Barry's going to follow. The Yellow Yetis just falling apart at the end here, while the Quetzalcoatls manage to get this full hold.
Incredible first game there by Quetzalcoatl. I mean, like, not only was that like one of the quickest caps that I had ever really seen, but the defense, I mean, it's all across the board. was really impenetrable, and it seemed like no matter what switch that Yellow Yetis were like willing to do, they just could not really get that extra inch that was needed versus the Quetzalcoatl. So it could just be like a product of the first mode that we were in. Maybe we'll see an improvement when it comes to the next game mode that we get into. But yeah, like I'm not really sure what different options there are for Yellow Yetis. What are you seeing potentially for them to be doing?
Well, let's see. The next map that we are going to be going to is Circuit Royale. So the Yellow Yetis are going to want to ease into these Sigma comps. Sigma, obviously, predominantly known as very good on Circuit Royale. So Timoteo going to be able to flex his muscles on the Sigma play, and hopefully Fairy will be able to get some or take advantage of the Sigma play and get those Sojourn right clicks going. Aside from that, I mean, we've seen a lot of outplay being taken, taking place by the Quetzalcoatls here. So I think what the Yetis are going to want to do in turn is get those tactics going. Try to figure out, or try to take advantage of any sort of sightlines that they will have on the attack or defense, whichever they will be going first. I guess we'll see in a second. And I guess just play with your team when it comes down to it. I mean, what do you think in terms of of our next of our upcoming map?
I'm believing that we're going to be seeing a lot of like you mentioned, Sigma, seeing how Timoteo seems to be like very insisting on Sigma, as well as James Baxter. Like, although they ended up playing Orisa last game, I think we maybe end up seeing them actually choose to go for Rhine or Sigma on this map, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that goes. But honestly, I'm more interested to see like how like what choices Gabe makes on their DPS picks, because it really does seem like most of the picks were coming from Gabe, and obviously also Shantae being able to like very give the supports of Yellow Yeti a very hard time to actually get in there and do and accomplish anything. So I think we can probably guess what we're going to be seeing tank wise, but I'm more like intrigued about DPS at this point, and I'm thinking that yeah, like we're going to be seeing some choice, like expecting the Sigma, expecting the barrier. If you're from Gabe, it probably negate it.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Circuit Royale with its long sight lines and the necessity of taking advantage of cover and corners really does demand characters like Sigma to be played. Timoteo, of course, wanting to ease into that. So in turn, I am also kind of expecting still a Sojourn, of course, but maybe another sniper coming in turn, whether it be someone with a little bit of utility, kind of like Hanzo with the sight arrow, with sonic arrow, excuse me, or even like just straight up pick value with a widow.
Royale.
That being said, I am wondering if we are going to be seeing something like that, or something a little bit creative, like Tracer, like we saw before, being able to kind of take a little bit of those flanks. It's going to be much tougher with this particular map, of course, but it's certainly not impossible if we see something like what happened in the last map take place here. I find it a little funny that I'm actually kind of trying to force this Sigma narrative here with Timoteo, but it really did seem like last map he really wanted to keep that going with switching onto that hero on both those maps. So let's see if this one in particular will be able to see his strengths a little bit better.
Right, and I mean they did.
And just kind of we are seeing a widow here on the side of the Yellow Yeti. So sorry about that. What were you gonna say?
I was saying, and they did actually pick this map here, so
Right.
like this is like it makes a lot of sense for Timoteo to be on the Sigma here. Like seeing how they have the choice of the map, and like they have Timoteo being able to play like the favorite. It should hopefully be enough for them to actually mount a solid defense here for the Yellow Yetis.
For sure. Alright, jump shot not really yielding anything here. The information's kind of a little bit light in terms of what they're trying to find. Trying to elucidate, trying to get this Zen onto the other side. It's really both sides playing their sideline as well. What do you think is the idea behind the support as we kind of just see this fight play out? It's going to be a little slow, of course. I mean, I say a little slow until, you know, people die on each side. Timoteo, unfortunately, being a very important player on the side of the Yetis, who does go down first. And then the Quetzalcoatl is just cleaning it up. So, I am curious about the support picks. Why the Zen Baptiste as opposed to, well, anything else that you would see?
It's likely just for like to take advantage of this map, and like both teams seem to really have straightforward plans as to how they're going to do that. Unfortunately, the feed did go down for us once again, so I am going to be just talking about the strategy here while we get that fixed once again. But yeah, it's looking like regarding the regarding the compositions, like Gabe has been putting in a lot of work on Widow so far, and it's actually like a little bit disheartening to see if you're Yellow Yetis, because on defense you want your Widow to be putting in the work and getting the picks. So you know, Gabe has been doing that so far for the Imperial Quetzalcoatl and getting them a lot of distance with a whole lot of time left on the clock. It's just been a lot to handle so far, I can imagine, for the Yellow Yetis.
Yeah, I know that you didn't have the feed at that point, but I actually did mention it in turn. But at the end of that fight, Shantai was actually popping up on the Sojourn themselves, being able to get like a lot of key picks at the end there. 3, in fact, you know, as they were capturing first point. And looks like they're also continuing to get these picks as they're really as they're getting the Yetis out of, you know, their initial spawn. It's really unfortunate, of course, for the Yetis. Now they're really being held back at this this door by point B. Yeah, okay, so everyone else is back up here. Windows coming out from Hamilton. As well as Lifties with their ult. Actually, pretty much every ult is used by the Yellow Yetis except for Transcendence. Speaking of, Sauce Boss actually in play, by the way, the Jordan side mentioned that. You know, using their own as well. And as I say that, Yellow Yetis actually getting this first defense right before right before second point here.
It's finally definitely what you want to see if you're Yellow Yetis. Definitely what I want to see as well, because I, you know, like have the feedback and I'm a happy man. It is like now you can get things like, I guess you can start to huddle as a team and really get things going as far as mounting a solid defense. They do have the Transcendence on board for them, and although it is only one ult, it is one of the most powerful ults in the game if used properly, and it could really make all the difference in this next fight.
Yeah, and as this next fight progresses, Gabe getting that Widow fight win over Fairy on the Yetis. Quetzalcoatl looking really good. And Awesome Possum just using his trance, trying to salvage whatever they can in this fight. But Gabe popping up once again on the Widow. It really is a DPS difference coming out here from the Quetzalcoatls. Shantai and Gabe popping off here, and you know, getting allowing them to get the second point.
We're also getting just very mean staggers too. Like, and then in this late in the game, like, you need every like moment that you possibly can to mount a solid defense together and like kind of pull your team back together. So like it truly, like if they can't, like if Yellow Yetis can't find an answer to Gabe and Shantai, this may be a very quick 2-0 that we're gonna find ourselves in.
Yeah, of course. Both teams taking the high ground position, trying to poke at each other as with both Timoteo's shield, unfortunately super low, whereas James Baxter looking really healthy enough there right now. Gabe also trying to get a really cheeky angle onto the side here, but not really seeing anything. Just waiting for the rest of the Quetzalcoatls to just come around and let Shantae do things onto the side. Oh, very huge flank indeed, in fact. And Timoteo tried to stop something, but it's not going to be enough as the lamp comes out and saves those two people. Ult's looking really good once again on the side of the Quetzalcoatls as they take this fight win.
And this fight win is probably enough for them to go ahead and win the game here. I mean, they've had a few little stalemates, where not a whole lot of action has been going on, when it comes to getting this last point cap, and during all of those stalemates, they've been just steady moving the payload. In Imperial Phoenix, once again, just giving us a very quick reminder of what we saw in the last game. Shantae and Gabe were really getting a whole lot of picks. Last game, we saw incredible work by Gabe. This game, I think we're honestly seeing more work by Shantae on the Sojourn. Truly just showing how capable the DPS is, and how much of a threat it is for Imperial Quetzalcoatl. I mean, if you are Yellow Yetis, how do you answer this DPS? Truly, I honestly can't think of an answer. What are you thinking as to what they should do to answer the threat that is Gabe and Shantae?
I mean, I'm not the so I'm not really the analytics person, so the big thing for me is taking advantage of corners, taking advantage of cover, use Timoteo's shield, but it really does seem like that the Quetzalcoatls are just getting in there, taking all of that space, and just rendering so much pressure onto the Yellow Yetis, who just crumble under all of that pressure. It's absolutely impressive what the Quetzalcoatls are able to achieve right now with this with this mirror comp here. And it's going to be really difficult, or it has been so difficult so far for the Yellow Yetis to counter what's going on here.
We are seeing the Junkrat though for Yellow Yetis now, and that is a very interesting swap, especially seeing how the Widow is still a threat, and you can potentially keep the Junkrat at a distance. But it can also just have the Junkrat melt Sigma's shield just very quickly and produce just a whole lot of damage to get them in quicker. I'm definitely open to the change of strategy coming from Yellow Yetis here, but seeing how the Junkrat is just getting unfortunately just mollywopped very quickly. Oh no!
Oh, but Barry just saying no. We're going to keep going. I'm going to get these two headshots onto these two very important picks. And yeah, that's exactly what's going to keep this this Yellow Yeti's dream alive for this first point.
The savior fairy, and Lifkey's going right back to Sojourn, so we're going again with two mirror comps. I really don't like this personally for Yellow Yetis, but seeing how it's working so far, I definitely can't say anything. But I guess let's just see if this continues to pay off for them. I don't know what changes you really need to make to counter Gabe and Shantae. Shantae again just finding picks across the board, just make it that much harder for Yellow Yetis.
Yeah, absolutely. This is just looking really rough. I mean, you saw at the beginning there, Lipkey unfortunately getting picked badly. They're looking really bad right now. Hammershank actually go up into Venus window. We'll see how that goes, but just as I say that, the Quetzalcoatl is able to just just as easily, go back. And Pleb, their Pleb goes down. It looks like they'll be able to take advantage of this fight.
The barrier has fallen.
James Baxter using this, using the flux, getting that PV kill onto Hammershank with lamp inside. And then Shantae, I mean, what can I say here? Shantae getting another kill onto Fairy. Fairy is showing some strong promises at the beginning, but when it comes down to it, Shantae and Gabe just, showing their pressure.
Really, I mean, like it's almost like they're just taking turns. I mean, not taking turns. Almost like they just took turns as to who's gonna do the amazing Sojourn popping off. But I mean, like Gabe also putting in incredible work on the Widowmaker as well. Like it's just been. Like the defense. I mean not the defense. The DPS has just been so much to handle on both offense and defense. Yellow Yetis just hasn't had the answer, and as admitted on the clock really starts to tick down. The ult's coming down here. I don't think it's going to make the difference here. Actually getting past Imperial Quetzalcoatl, but we honestly have to see. Timoteo actually getting a pick on Shantai is really huge.
Yeah, it's going to be huge going into this next fight. Going to have to force the Quetzalcoatl into using both of their support ults. And, you know, absolutely countered by a Transcendence coming on the other side. Now they just have to finish off this Sigma and this Baptist in the back, and that's going to be first point for the Yeti. Showing some promise in this, first map. And once again, the dreams are not quite dead, though it is taking a bit to live.
It definitely seems like once they can actually, if they can actually manage to pick the DPS, pick the DPS of Imperial Quetzalcoatl, then they can actually get some distance here. And
wait,
so,
Boss still there? Oh no! What's it called? Two people from the Yellow Yetis were just noticing that someone hadn't come back yet, but it's going to come back to bite them in the butt as. You know, they get picked themselves. So, I mean, I really love the initiative from the Yetis, assuming that Sauce Boss was in fact there. But unfortunately, just got punished for something that, honestly, yeah, they really should have kept on doing. But they did get a lot of this.
Threat
neutralized. What a nice shot. They did get a lot of this payload process going on, and sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine. As I was saying, like if they can really manage to pick Shantai and Gabe, they actually get a bit of distance on the payload. And like once they have actually been able to do that, like these last few times here, it's actually allowed them to get the first point cap and get the distance they've had thus far. I think if you're Yellow Yetis, you're adjusting your strategy to really focus Shantai and Gabe as much as you possibly can to open things up for your team.
That being said, not sure if that's really going to happen now as your shield right now is down. Gabe a little bit low, definitely trying to find that cheeky pick. Lifkey does go ahead and get James Baxter, but I don't think anything really is going to come out from the Yetis here. They just have to come back. Look at all those ults on the Quetzalcoatls though. That's gonna be really important for them, especially as we are nearing the final minute mark for this Yetis offense. It's looking really dangerous, to say the least.
And with like literally every character having their ult on boards for Imperial Quetzalcoatl, I'm not sure how you're going to actually be able to take this point from them if you are Yellow Yetis with a minute left on the board. But of course, we can't count them out yet because they popped the Zen ult at a very crucial time. We'll see what kind of momentum they can build off that here.
Yeah, that transcendence was in response from the graviton coming from the vaccine. And as I was saying that, the Yetis managed to get the pick on the Timoteo. Actually, right now, it does look like the advantage is on the side of the Yetis, who had no ults to their name, and yet Quetzalcoatl just losing 5 of their own. Awesome Possum, really good use of the Transcendence at the beginning in order to save them from what could have been a very dire fight. Or maybe on the other hand, Quetzalcoatl is really tough as they lose, as they waste those points. Cleb using his own critical ult to try to take out, get that fire rate going. Out. James Baxter though, his shield's super low. Pleb trying to do as much as he can to keep him up, using that, using the Suzu, and yeah, no, unfortunately unable to save James Baxter in the thick of that. Yellow Yetis getting the second point, looking pretty good so far.
It's honestly like very sad having to use all ults for the Imperial Quetzalcoatl and not being able to actually stop them there. Like you have really everything going in your favor, and like I guess not being able to stop them and having to waste all your ults, it's really devastating. Obviously, they have like this last bit of distance here to really stop them from getting the third. And even if they do get the third, it's looking like they'll have an extra minute and 13 on the clock. Even if they do go all the way to get the third cap, so I'm hoping I'm hoping here that will or I shouldn't say I'm hoping. I'm thinking here that if you are Imperial Quetzalcoatl, you're pulling out whatever you have to really stop them at this last corner. But the Yellow Yetis showing that they have possibly found the answer to penetrate the Imperial Quetzalcoatl defense.
Yeah, and I mean I was about to say like during that during your discussion there that the Yellow Yetis suffered that first pick, and I was surprised at the fact that they didn't peel back. They didn't go back and just wait for their last DPS. For their picks. And also using their trance here a little. I must have missed something, or maybe I missed. Okay, no, I'm honestly just super confused as to what just happened there. Wait, what?
And that is wrapping up. That is wrapping up the round 2. But it's looking like we kind of got forced into that little situation I was talking about, where literally Imperial Quetzalcoatl has 2 extra minutes and 13 seconds on the board versus the Yellow Yetis. However, Yellow Yetis it seems like they have found the answer to kind of crack the code that is Imperial Quetzalcoatl. So even though they only have a minute left on the board, it is very likely that they can still actually pull things together here and win this second game. But Imperial Quetzalcoatl, they have definitely more time to figure out the proper answer to, I guess, keep things going in their favor. Well, what do you think we're going to be seeing here?
I'm sorry, wait. Did I have like a bit of an issue on my feed? Wasn't that the Quetzalcoatls who won that last fight?
Yes. So, I mean, no, I saw it on my end too. So unless that was a possible C9 there.
I think that was a C9. I'm sorry, I just had to bring that up. Anyway, we are seeing the same comps coming out from both sides. I don't think Lipkey is going to stick with this Genji. No, it looks like he is going to commit to this Genji here. So trying to get a little bit of this much pressure, also a little bit of a little bit difficult to do on the Circuit Royale here. But I am really curious as to see as to what you're going to see from Lipkey. A little bit silent during this entire match. I'm not going to be. I am going to be honest here. So I'm really hoping that this is going to pan out for the Yetis, and really hoping honestly that the Yetis that's going to save them from their a little bit of a struggle here. So 30 minutes left here. Still going slow, and Fairy with a really good pick onto Game as the Widow. Looking really good so far. Oh, another huge pick onto James Baxter. Really good for the Yetis.
Fairy just really like seeming to keep things together. Fairy almost seems to be like the glue for Yellow Yetis right now. And, as they I guess get to this last little corner here, Imperial Quetzalcoatl doesn't have a whole lot of tools at their advantage to I guess stop the Yellow Yetis here. They don't have any ults coming up, so it's going to be very interesting to see if they can actually stop them with this little bit of distance that they actually need to get there, or will they possibly C9 again and get another point.
Alright, Lipkey trying to be annoying that this time, but it's not really going to pan out as Sauce Boss gets that cheeky kick onto Lipkey, and Shantai as well as Dave. So the point's gonna be held right before first point, but still a winnable scenario, I would say, for the Yetis, but it is gonna be an uphill battle.
Very winnable scenario for the Yetis, but I mean, just think about like for the Quetzalcoatl at this point, you have 3 minutes to actually get that first point cap. So I mean, you have so much time to make mistakes. And if we're being real here, when it comes to mistakes that we've seen from Imperial Quetzalcoatl, this game is the mistake that we've seen so far, like actually allowing the Yellow Yetis to get the 3-point caps. Like this is like the little bit of misplay or whatever that we've seen from the Quetzalcoatl. So if they're going to continue what we've seen like from the first game and the first round in this, having 3 minutes on the board is just truly devastating. However, if Yellow Yetis did truly crack the code, truly solve the mystery that is the Imperial Quetzalcoatl, and they know how to say the word and everything, like they just cracked the code, then it's going to be like, well, then like you said, it's still very winnable for Yellow Yetis, so we definitely can't count them out.
Once again, I feel like it's going to be in the hands of the DPS of both Lipsky and Fairy in order for the Yetis to get this, this 3-minute defense in play. Lipkey going once again onto the, or this time going onto the Tracer, getting that same value with being a little bit of an annoying gnat, trying to annoy the snipers on the other side. And it looks like he is doing a pretty good job as he distracts Gabe into getting headshot by Fairy. So that's a really, really good start for the Yetis.
Amazing start for the Yetis right there, and honestly, this is exactly what you wish Quetzalcoatl. Just run the clock out and start running these fights inch by inch. But Zen getting a pick on lift key, very, very, very brutal. And I mean, Gabe also coming up with some picks of their own. With Shantae doing their thing that they've been doing throughout this tournament. I mean, like. The DPS truly have been deciding these fights that we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's looking really, really rough now for the Yetis. They just need to come back with Timoteo going down at the worst possible time in order for them to get this defense. Now, and now we see the DPS once again trying to deflect their stuff. This point is in such dire danger. It's just going right into the square, and that's it. The Quetzalcoatls get map 2.
And they went ahead and took that. I was gonna say rather handily, but I mean, we really did see the fight in Yellow Yetis come out there right towards the end. I mean, like they not only seemingly had cracked the code for Imperial Quetzalcoatl for a little bit, but I mean also just going ahead and sorry, I'm getting distracted by that Shantae play of the game. Incredible. I try to talk about Yellow Yetis while watching that. Well, but like again, like they really did get the, I guess, find a solution to Imperial Quetzalcoatl for a brief moment that last game, and it really did show why they were still in this. But yeah, Quetzalcoatl was just really taking that right there. What were your thoughts on what we just saw right there?
When it comes down to it, like Lipkey and Fairy were able to get, have a couple shining moments, trying to, getting those picks going. I know that we're focusing a lot on the DPS, but so it goes on Circuit Royale. Had some shining moments, had some, theoretically good ideas, especially with, being annoying on the Tracer, and the Genji didn't really pan out, unfortunately, due to Gabe and Shantae, or Shantae, we gotta figure out that pronunciation, by the way. Shantae on the other side, just flexing on those support, on those DPS picks, really shows that they came prepared in any sort of double sniper or double sniper-esque kind of meta. So the DPS matchup is definitely something that we're going to be keeping our eyes on. Sorry, supports, that we haven't really been, paying attention to you, but we did get a lot of good. We did see a lot of good ult usage, especially from Zens on both sides. All that being said, this is going to be our halftime break right now, and I think, by the time we'll get back, we're going to see what our next map between the Yellow Yetis and the Imperial Phoenix Quetzalcoatls, what that is going to be. So please stay tuned.
A charity tournament. What is up, Twitch chats and viewers of the Crossfade Charity Tournament? I am your host, or one of your hostees, FU for free. Still out here with Kimure, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and be getting back into these games here, but still with Quetzalcoatl and Yellow Yetis, by the way. If you did not see the games before the intermission, let's just say quite the incredible statement by Imperial Quetzalcoatl. But let's definitely not count out Yellow Yetis yet. We did see hints of life in that last game, and they were definitely fighting and kicking tooth and nail. So I think we could be in for quite the show on this potential match point that we're moving into here. What do you think, Kamure?
It's going to be an uphill battle for sure for the Yellow Yetis. We've seen a lot of discussion regarding push maps in general, not any least New Queen Street, that it's always been pretty like if you get that first fight win, you're going to eventually win the entire thing. It's gonna be really tough if the Quetzalcoatls, the Imperial Phoenix Quetzalcoatls, are gonna be able to get that first fight win. If Gabe and Shantai are able to show off their stuff once again. But again, not quite impossible, not 100% for sure. We've seen, like you said, we've seen a lot of shining spots on the side of the Yellow Yetis, especially with Fairy popping off on that Widow and on the Sojourn in that first map. We're going to need to see a little bit more coming out from Lipkey, of course, and especially from Timoteo on the side of the Yetis. So here we are on New Queen Street. Do you think we're going to be seeing a lot, in terms of composition, do you think we're going to be seeing a lot of the same that we've seen so far, or do you think we're going to finally see something a little bit different, kind of like the chaos that we saw on Midtown?
I believe we may actually be seeing some Sigma. I mean, not Sigma. Not Sigma. We may actually be seeing some Ramatra. My mistake.
Yes.
Very, very similar, but I was gonna say Ramatra just because he is very good at capturing points, but looks like we're gonna be seeing like Winston and Ryan. Like it seems like Imperial Quetzalcoatl just going with what they're comfortable with for the most part. Oh, never mind.
I mean, they have to stay in spawn. You might as well try and go for some funny audience baits. But what we are seeing right now is a Winston on the side of the Yetis with Timoteo, and a soldier from the Quetzalcoatls. What do you think the soldier's value is going to be going into this push now?
I have no freaking idea, seriously. I'm like, I mean, it's because I would assume, hey, because you can't run 2 Sojourns, if you really want 2 hit scans like that, you can throw the soldier on there as well. Mercy can still very effectively damage boost him as well. And I mean, Gabe just showing that he's just very capable on DPS, so I would assume that even on soldier, which is kind of like a strange pick for this tournament, this will be very capable.
Quite the slobberknocker of a skirmish going on right now. Players all over the place, some on the train, some on the ground. And it's actually going to be the Yellow Yetis who are going to be coming out on top right now. So, first fight, winning the entire map. And we're going to be favoring the Yetis right now. We'll just have to see. But it is looking so far so good for the Yetis.
Okay, though, with this composition that Imperial Phoenix are swapping into.
Alright, something completely different now.
Yeah, like, now, I'm not too sure for Yellow Yetis, because, I mean, Roadhog, still yet to be nerfed. I mean, he's gonna just be doing a whole lot of work into their Winston, potentially, and I mean, just being amped by the by the Lucio and Kiriko, Roadhog becomes even more lethal.
But that being said, Gabe does go down first, and the Yellow Yetis are kind of all over this point right now, not really ever leaving it, but just taking advantage of that high ground. Very good stick, but even better play coming out from Fairy on the Soldier and getting those railgun shots. Clean up on the side of the Yetis, and now the point, getting super close, in fact, really close to this first checkpoint.
This is actually really incredible if you're Yellow Yetis and you can get this forward spawn at this point. I mean, like, this is, and it appears they are getting this forward spawn. Like, this is exactly what the Yellow Yetis really need to keep this momentum rolling against Imperial Quetzalcoatl. It's to the point where if Imperial Quetzalcoatl is going to make a comeback here, they have quite the hill to climb. If Yellow Yetis can keep this going.
Alright, so yeah, Timoteo does kind of overextend a little bit with Hammer Shank to literally follow them. So a little bit rough on the side of the Yetis for that push. But that being said, getting that first key checkpoint, as well as a little bit of that distance, it's looking really good for the Yetis so far. So now we have the Quetzalcoatl really committing onto this Reaper and Roadhog, as well as the Lucio. Fantastic hook coming out to the and the Yellow Yetis kind of sticking with this. And it's not really looking good as they just fall to this Reaper.
see the fact that Imperial Quetzalcoatl were like right there, were able to win 2 fights in a row, like back to back, so quickly. It really did. I mean, just about shift things back in their favor, especially if they are able to get this forward spawn. They not only negated the forward spawn for Yellow Yetis, but actually started getting distance themselves. And winning 2 fights like that's exactly what you need to be doing to push.
Yeah, Timoteo also having a really unfortunate moment getting hooked by the opposing Bullhog. But it's not quite over yet for the Yetis, as Lifkey does manage to get that full bump onto Shantai. It's quite, once again, quite the skirmish going on at
Robot needs exfil.
Oh, actually facing a lot of pressure from his opposing soldier, but getting that support back in turn, and yeah, Hammershank overextends a little too far, and that's going to be quite the payoff for the Quetzalcoatls, who are very likely going to get this checkpoint themselves, and perhaps even overtake this lead.
Right, like once they get this forward spawn and they appear to have it, now momentum really is back in the favor of Quetzalcoatl. I mean, like if there was like the advantage that the Yetis had are all but gone. I mean, unfortunately, they definitely can like very easily shift things back in their favor. But now they're in a position where they're going to have to be winning like 2 fights themselves and negating the forward spawn, and then and only then can they really think about like starting to get some more distance on the bot. It's truly like I guess not what you want to see by Yellow Yetis, especially when they had such a good start so far.
So as we kind of just wait for this next fight, Timoteo swaps over to this Orisa now, and I mean, the Orisa Roadhog matchup is definitely something that's being discussed a lot in the community nowadays. So I'm really curious as how it's going to play out in this turn, or in this map that we have here. Yellow is advantage of their spawn advantage, so they're going to be able to take the spot back. So what do you think is going to be a key point in this tank matchup here?
I think the key point is going to be usage of the Suzu by both Kirikos. Like, that's honestly going to be the main thing I can see this matchup coming down to. And also utilization of the Javelin for Orisa. If you can properly negate those take a breathers by the Roadhog, it'll be doing a lot of work. But apparently, as we can see here, Orisa really not having to do the work herself when you have Lifkey doing amazing work on Tracer and Fairy as well. Really, again, being the glue that has so far held things together for Yellow Yetis. And as they get this bot back and do literally exactly what they needed to do, win 2 fights in a row, this has been surprisingly a very close game of push so far.
What a hook and a kill on Timoteo! It was looking, quite like a very, it was looking quite like a standard neutral fight going on to this next to the checkpoint once again, but Timoteo just unfortunately getting hooked by James Baxter and getting killed right there.
I don't believe none of us expected this to be this close. None of us expected this push matchup to be this close, and literally, this is like quite the game here, literally.
Ooh, what a fantastic draw, and coming out to the So, what we a little bit of that danger now coming to pass as the Yellow Yetis is taking back this point. But I think I would go on to say that they perhaps used a little too much of their own. I mean, I know that they only used 2, but was the soldier own really necessary there? It seemed like that they were going to be able to take that fight with just the Orisa.
I argue yes. It was necessary because you need to win the 2 fights here on this map to actually like get things shifting back in your favor and getting some distance on the bot. And now that they're actually pushing the bot once again, although they had to expend more ults, I think overall it was worth it. Like, we're gonna see Imperial Quetzalcoatl most likely take the bot back here, but Yellow Yetis should be able to reassemble and actually stop them from progressing. And if they can win that next fight, then they'll get things back in their favor.
Yeah, that's not to say that the Yellow Yetis Shantai were really good. That was onto that Lucio, able to get that beat out in time, and the spot's going to be coming back to this likely to take it, and it's going to be such a big point of the Yetis. It's looking really tough right now, but what do you think is the key for the Yetis to come back into this, considering their comp and I guess the ults that they're coming up on with the speed coming up?
I mean, it's definitely easier said than done, but it seems to be like, honestly, if you are able to win those 3 fights in a row, like if you're able to win 2 to not only get the bot back, but actually start getting some distance on the bot, then win the 3rd, then you can actually hopefully win the game as Yetis. But I mean, as we can see here, Imperial Quetzalcoatl is making that, as I said, just much easier said than done. They're really not about to let such an easy thing happen, and it's honestly like having to get through the defense that is Imperial Quetzalcoatl just makes it that much more like daunting of a task. But I mean, just look at the distance that you have. Like, there is still definitely a chance here for Yellow Yetis. But what needs to be done, I honestly wish I could tell you. I wish I could say.
Well, unfortunately, whipping that post. Wait, they actually got a kill? Okay. The kill on the sauce boss, and then both supports down on the side of the Quetzalcoatl. And I mean, just as we're kind of doom and glooming about the Yetis, it always seems like they're able to at least take the spot back, get that first fight going. But you know, as we've been kind of discussing, it's getting that second fight that is, you know, important, especially in a push map. It's always important, but especially important in a push map here. So, just kind of looking at the old advantage here. Hammershank does have this critical ult coming out.
The enemy will take the lead if
Taylor
we don't
just
stop
dying in the background. That's looking really bad. And Hammershank, just as we give like a lot, or just as we see a lot of players being put into the Yetis in that first fight, Quetzalcoatl is just taking it back in that second fight without even really using anything of their own.
Like when Yellow Yetis initially got that forward spawn, if they were kind of able to play this back and forth game there and like make it so that Imperial Quetzalcoatl could not get any distance on the robot, they could keep playing this until the game ran out of time, and then Yellow Yetis would have probably had the win if they never like lost that forward spawn. That's a whole lot of ifs, obviously.
Unfortunately not going to come to pass as the map ends here. We did see a little of that switch from Timoteo onto the Doomfist, but it didn't really come out in their favor. Quetzalcoatl's taking the map 3 and taking the series in the end. I mean, I was seeing a lot of bright spots once again coming from the Yellow Yetis, but it's really that defense pressure coming from the end. And James Baxter also doing quite a lot of this. You know, I also really want to sing the praises, of course, of Pleb and Phoenix. Oh, sorry, of excuse me, of Sauce Boss in Phoenix, not Pleb. You know, they were able to support their team into this very dominant win. Yeah, looking really good in this tournament so far. But the Yellow Yetis, they'll have to really reevaluate what has gone on in this match so far and try to come back in their next game, whenever that's going to be. Yeah, I like definitely did have a little bit of hope for them when it came to like getting that first forward spawn, but unfortunately they just really weren't able to keep the momentum rolling, the Yellow Yetis, and that just really is so hard when you have Gabe and Shantai being the DPS that you're going against with Quetzalcoatl. So just really amazing work by both teams tonight. And really intense last game that we actually saw there, but Quetzalcoatl just really getting the best. So it appears that will probably be wrapping things up for tonight game-wise, but you can catch Crossfade games every Sunday night, I believe. We're going to be doing this thing for the foreseeable future, so you'll probably see a lot of me, a lot of Kamure. You can catch me personally, Twitch TV/Effie for free every Wednesday night. I'm good here.
Oh, okay. I was making sure, making sure my boy Kamure got his plugs in there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and thank you again to Yellow Yetis, Quetzalcoatl, as well as sorry, Appalachia Action and Cruisers Sports. Definitely go check out these amazing charities. They are worthy of your time. But I feel like I've talked a whole bunch. Unless you guys have something else to say, Kamure, I'm going to go ahead and send us on out of here. And good night, everybody. Good night, Twitch chats. We'll see you next time.